Good afternoon, buenas tardes, everyone. Welcome to our special presentations for today, November 7th, 2023. We have one special presentation scheduled on our agenda, and I'm going to go ahead and move down to the mic up front to get started. Well, good evening once again, everyone, and welcome to our special presentations. Today, we have the honor and privilege of recognizing National Animal Shelter Appreciation Week here in the city of Moreno Valley. And pretty shortly, in just a moment, I'll call up our awesome city teams here that take care of all that every single day across the city. But just want to share a few things before I do call everybody up. First and foremost, want to sincerely thank you for the work that you're doing. I know it's not easy, but you're out there every single day. I think every day I see one of your trucks at least one time on my way to work or whatever that may be. So I know that you're definitely busy. And I take my dogs to the animal shelter here as well. So thank you for everything that you're doing, to the volunteers who help as well, and to the Humane Society for your tireless work year-round to take care of homeless pets and find them forever homes. And a shout out to our media team and everybody as well who consistently is putting the posts on social media to make sure that any pets are being adopted as well. Thank you, media team, for the work that you're doing on that as well. And the shelter's efforts, guided by the example set by the Humane Society, have allowed countless animals to find the love and care that they deserve. I personally am owner of 2 dogs, and I know that they love to see us when we get home, and I know it's a mutual relationship. So it's really nice to have pets there that you can always just know that they're going to be, they want you to pet them and just be there for them. So that's really nice. And Animal Shelter Appreciation Week has become an important tradition in our community and across the country. Every single year, we take this time to express gratitude to our animal shelter, the Humane Society, and all the staff and volunteers who provide those crucial services. More importantly, this week brings our community together in support of animal welfare, transcending age, background, and language. Here tonight to accept this proclamation is the Animal Services Division Manager, Steve Fries, and Community Development Director, Sean Kelleher, and the entire Animal Services Division. So at this time, if you would all please like to join me, Steve Fries and your team, anybody else would like to come up, if we could give them a big round of applause. How you doing? Good to see you again. Hey, how you doing, Steve? Good to see you. Good to see you. Thanks for coming out. Thank you for coming. Yeah, I think we all probably fit. I know we do fit, for sure. I mean, you all work together. You're all like family, right? It's good to see y'all. Thanks for coming. Perfect. So this is most of, if we're missing a couple, I don't want to leave them out, but the entire Animal Services Division, and Sean Kelleher here as well, and Steve Fries, who oversees the entire Animal Services Division and has been with the city for years now. So in a moment, you'll hear from him, and he'll share a few words. But before we get there, I would like to just read briefly some of the text that is here on the proclamation. And first of all, we'll start with, whereas the Humane Society has proclaimed the first week of November as National Animal Shelter Appreciation Week, and whereas companion animals contribute to the quality of life in Moreno Valley, with local shelters making communities better places to live, and whereas Moreno Valley was awarded certified city status for its commitment to being pet friendly, and whereas animal shelters provide care beyond just housing animals, including community resources, responding to animals in need, investigating cruelty, supporting spay and neuter and foster programs, and whereas the mayor and council recognize and honor animal services' role in improving the quality of life in our city, now therefore be it proclaimed that the mayor and city council recognize November 5th through November 11th as National Animal Shelter Appreciation Week in the city of Moreno Valley. And at this time, we can applaud for that. And at this time, I'll go ahead and call the experts to share a few words if you would like to. And first, we'll start off with Steve Fries here to my right, followed by Sean Kelleher, if you'd like to. Steve, the floor is yours. Thank you.
All right. Well, good evening, everyone. We appreciate the award. We also appreciate the ongoing support that we have from the community, as well as from the city staff, the executive management team, our city manager, Mike Lee, and our assistant city managers as well. They do have a tough job, and it's not easy, but I have to make a plug-in for the animal shelter this week because we are having an event. It started today. It goes until Friday. We are open Friday, so I know there's some people that might have the day off on Friday, but we'll be open. And we'd like everyone to come down and take a look at the pets that are at the animal shelter. We have a great adoption event right now. All cats are $5. In fact, I think we got a couple of our furry friends here in with staff that are, I think they're available. If they're not available, they're available for foster. They are available. Okay. So before we leave this room, if we have any takers, we'd be more than happy to take care of you tonight. It's a dynamic team. Fortunately, I've been with the city for just a little over 15 years now, and I must say that the folks that are standing here tonight are the best of the best, and I think that's what we hear a lot from our city manager. We do have the best of the best here right now, and they do a great job. They care well for the animals. They sincerely care for these animals, and they sincerely go out into the field and handle a variety of different issues out there to make the public not only to maintain the public health aspect of it in terms of rabies control, but also the public safety side in dealing with potentially dangerous and vicious animals. So our staff at the shelter and our staff that work the field, they do a great job, and I'm just happy to be part of the team. And I think they all carry that mantra of collaborating with one another and other city departments. They do great customer service. I rarely have any complaints from my field staff, and I always get compliments on the folks that come into the shelter and say how well it's maintained and how great the customer service is. And they're also, we've got a few innovators here as well. I know that I think we have one here that won an innovation award not too long ago. So they do all those things and a lot more. And you know, I've been doing this for almost 40 years. It's the best team I've had. I still come to work every morning because I enjoy my work, and that I think it shows with the staff that's here with me tonight. So other than that, we really appreciate the fact that we're being recognized tonight, that all these folks are being recognized tonight for all the hard work that they do. Thank you very much. John? Oh, okay. Oh, he doesn't want to say anything.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, Steve, for that. Really appreciate it. And again, as you just heard, we have 2 cats that are currently available. Anybody watching at home, anybody that's here, if you would like to bring home a cat with you, you got 2 available here. So with that, I will go ahead and present the proclamation to you formally, and we can take a nice group picture.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. So who's going to hold this, and I'm going to get the back because I don't know.
I gave him water. He's very
third step in the back so we can all kind of scrunch in.
There you go. The instigators, is that
A little bit more for blocking her.
Just a little
All right.
ID number.
I can get you down a little bit. You're getting blocked.
Okay. Right here?
You're good right there.
Very good, okay.
All right. Looks like we got everyone. Camera will turn on. There we go. All right. Nice big smiles. And 1, 2, 3. One more for safety. And 1, 2, 3. Wonderful.
Just kidding. I know. Thank you. I already put them on my Instagram. Is it fine? Just tomorrow? I mean, just Friday? No, hold on. Alrighty.
All right, so with that, we will go ahead and conclude our special presentations for today. Thank you once again to Steve and your entire team for the work that you're doing. Really appreciate it. And with that, we will go ahead and conclude the special presentations, and we'll be back in a little over 10 minutes for our regular council meeting. Thank you. Good evening, buenas tardes, and welcome to our regular meeting of the City Council of the City of Moreno Valley. The joint meeting of the City Council of the City of Moreno Valley Community Services District, City as successor agency for the Community Redevelopment Agency of the City of Moreno Valley Housing Authority, Moreno Valley Public Financing Authority, and the Board of Library Trustees, and the Moreno Valley Community Foundation. The City Council receives a separate stipend for CSD meetings, and I now call this meeting to order at 6:02 p.m. on November 9th, 2023. I'll go ahead and lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance for today, and then we'll see if the pastor arrives here for the invocation. If you could please join me in the pledge. Okay, and if we could all please put our right hands over our hearts. Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. And yeah, I think we might have to pass on invocation for tonight, or if you don't mind, if I could just lead us in a brief invocation for tonight. If you could please bow your heads with me. Father God, first, we want to thank you for allowing us to be here this evening, for waking up this morning. We want to thank you for our families, for our neighbors, for our loved ones. We thank you for being able to do good work here in the City of Moreno Valley to help our constituents, to help the residents of our city and improve their lives as much as possible. I ask that you just give us wisdom to help us make the best decisions possible, to be able to collaborate, to be able to continue to do good things here for the City of Moreno Valley and continue the progress and the momentum that we currently have. So I want to just thank you once again for everything that you are doing, everything that you'll continue to do for us, and we thank you in your name. Amen. Okay, Madam Clerk, I'll turn to you now for a roll call, please.
Councilmember, thank you, Mayor. Councilmember Baca Santa Cruz.
Here.
Councilmember Marcus.
Here.
Councilmember Bernard.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Delgado is not present. And Mayor Cabrera.
Here. Thank you, Madam Clerk. And at this time, once again, at the advice of staff, I've been asked to excuse Mayor Pro Tem Delgado from this meeting as he is absent. So I'll make a motion to excuse Mayor Pro Tem Delgado from tonight's meeting. There's a second from Councilmember Marquez. If we could please vote.
Can we announce why he's not here? City business, right? On city business at the JPA?
If
Yes.
staff would like to maybe give some more information, or if there's an answer to that.
Ms. Jane?
I don't know where he is. You know? He's, yes, yes.
Yes, actually, Mayor Pro Tem is actually at city business. He's actually a member of the March JP representing the city at a conference out of state. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. At this time, if we could please vote.
We'll do a voice vote for this one. Councilmember Baca Santa Cruz.
Yes.
Councilmember Marcus. Yes. Councilmember Bernard.
Yes.
And Mayor Cabrera.
Yes. Thank you, Madam Clerk. So that motion passes. Next, we have staff introductions, please.
Jane Halstead, City Clerk.
Patty Rodriguez, Senior Deputy City Clerk.
Stephen Quintanilla, City Attorney.
Mike Lee, City Manager.
Brian Mohan, Assistant City Manager over Administration and City Treasurer.
Michael Lloyd, Assistant City Manager for Development.
Sean Kelleher, Community Development Director.
Lana Jimenez, Chief Financial Officer.
Melissa Walker, Director of Public Works.
Jeremy Bubnick, Director of Parks and Community Services.
Robert Cardenas, Human Resources Director.
Ken Reichel, Chief of Police.
And Jesse Park, Fire Chief.
Thank you very much, team, for being here. As always, a pleasure. And reminder that the city is currently offering Spanish translation services if anyone is interested in this feature. La ciudad actualmente ofrece servicios de traducción al español. Si alguien está interesado, por favor, nos avisan. I embrace and support the First Amendment right to free speech, including everyone's right to speak at this meeting. and to share their views about issues concerning our city. But we can be more productive by being civil and respectful toward one another in this meeting. In order to preserve the meeting decorum, council and staff will not respond during public comments. Any council comments or questions to staff may be addressed during the council closing comments. Each speaker will be allowed a total of 3 minutes to comment on any and all items which are not on the agenda but are within the jurisdiction of the city council. And I briefly just want to make a brief comment about the last meeting where unfortunately had to call on the bailiff to take some action. Just a brief reminder again, you know, all public speakers get an equal amount of time to speak during public comment, to speak on the items when public comment comes up. But again, we should definitely be respectful and absolutely stop short of interrupting the meeting so that we can actually conduct our business, not just for the council and for our staff, but most importantly for our residents. You know, we're trying to conduct good business here for the city, and again, just we need to be respectful, and everyone gets the same amount of time to speak. But the moment someone speaks out of turn, or when it's not their turn and starts to interrupt the meeting, we have to maintain order, and we'll take appropriate action to maintain that order. So just wanted to make sure to share a few remarks before we get into public comment. So with that, we will start first with non-agenda items for public comment. Madam Clerk, do we have any requests to speak?
Yes, we do, Mayor. We have 10 speakers ready to speak. I'll call on the first 3 speakers: Lorena Santa Cruz, followed by Rosa Bravo and James Armour.
Good evening.
Sorry, I'm a little short. Okay. Ready? Perfect. Hello, good evening, council members, mayor, city staff, and residents of Moreno Valley. My name is Lorena Santa Cruz, and I'm here on behalf of 5th District Riverside County Supervisor Extion Gutierrez. Tonight, I am proud to present the city of Moreno Valley on behalf of the taxpayers of the 5th District with a check for $17,000 to support the MoVal Learns program. For those who are unfamiliar, this program helps qualifying Moreno Valley College students with a monthly stipend to earn while they learn. Supervisor Gutierrez once said during his tenure as mayor, "Our residents should never have to choose between paying the bills or getting an education." With that, Supervisor Gutierrez sends his regards and would like to congratulate the city for its continued commitment to investing in the education and future of these students. And we wish the students a part of the MoVal Learns program the best in their educational endeavors. I would like to now take this time to ask if you would like to maybe take a picture for to go ahead and honor this. Thank you.
Sure, and we could keep the clock running just in case, but yeah, if we could all head down and take a group picture. Thank you very much, and thank you to our supervisor as well for that generous contribution to the city of Moreno Valley. Appreciate it.
The next 3 speakers are Rosa Bravo, James Armour, and Roy Bleckard.
Hi, good evening. City Council members, Mayor Ulises Cabrera, City Council Member Elena Vaca, Mayor Pro Tem Ed Delgado, even though he's not here, City Council David Marquez, and City Council Member Shaylinda Bernard. I'm here tonight alongside with Inland Compassion to say thank you for your exceptional efforts in keeping all of us in mind with the work that we do. Your vote is what gives us hope to look for new ways to help our city and our people. With this grant for the pilot program, we will be able to make a difference. Our ideas will become reality, making it easier for us to expand our services and resources, hopefully to be able to offer beds, meals, and much more to help those in need see the light at the end of the tunnel. We do appreciate your efforts, and we thank you all each. Have a nice night.
The next three speakers are James R. Moore, Roy Blecker, and Marjorie Durkee.
Good evening. It's nice to be here to say hi to everybody. It's been, oh, so sorry.
Thank you.
Yes, it's an honor to be here, and it's really nice to see you guys again. I apologize I haven't been here for a while. I've been working really hard at my new job as a therapist. Introduce you to my wife, Paola. And I just came today to just say how grateful we are for being nominated for the pilot program and all the love and support that we have received. We're going to be doing great things with the funding that we're receiving. We got connected with the COC and Home Connect, so they're going to be providing us with outreach referrals. They stated that there's a gap in Moreno Valley when it comes to outreach initiatives for the homeless. So we're going to be doing our part to try to help fill in that gap with boots on the ground, going out there and trying to get folks connected to therapy. We have the mobile unit at my current job right now. We're going to be rolling out 2 mobile units to be able to do case management, medicine management, therapy and stuff. So they're partnered with us, Inland Compassion, and the Inland Compassion is going to go out and find people who need help and give them wellness kits. Well, we're going to connect them to housing. And again, the Home Connect's going to help make that possible. We're going to be providing harm reduction, of course, and which is really, really important. And I have some studies that I wanted to, some information that I wanted to share about Narcan. So naloxone can restore normal breathing within 2 to 3 minutes in a person whose breath has slowed or even stopped as a result of an opioid overdose. Naloxone won't harm someone if they're overdosing on drugs other than opioids. Nearly 50,000 people died from an opioid-involved overdose in 2019, and one study found that bystanders were present in more than 1 in 3 overdoses involving opioids. Right now, the county's on track to hit 500 to 600 deaths related to fentanyl this year. So our goal is not only to connect those to housing and get them that case management. We're going to be using the GIM model, of course. We're going to engage, assess. We're going to plan, implement, evaluate, and then discharge. So we're going to be keeping track of those that we're helping. But we're going to do our best to save as many lives as possible here in Moreno Valley. And it's all thanks to you guys making this dream possible. We've been incorporated since August of last year, so we've been growing pretty quickly. We now have about 24 volunteers. Our board is 8 members strong, and we're just super grateful and happy, and we're ready to go out and do our best and make a difference and represent Moreno Valley professionally, equitably, and just provide a humanistic approach to our services. So I thank you all and have a good night.
Thank you.
The next 3 speakers are Roy Blecker, Marjorie Durkee, and David Sides.
Bovine fecal matter is a new term I learned down at the Riverside County Board of Supervisors meeting this morning. Was a gentleman who came up there and was frustrated over our government agencies. You ought to check it out. Because as we got the lecture from the Mr. Mayor at the beginning of the meeting, maybe people wouldn't be so frustrated when they come up here to this dais if you didn't run us through the kind of bovine fecal matter, as the gentleman said, as you're doing tonight. Val Verde School Board is having a meeting simultaneously at that. How many freaking decades has this gone on? You cannot do a simple, with all the talent. You only have one person on that dais that can grasp it because she lived it and she experienced it. Just like the man who ran up to the Board of Supervisors today, who rides the RTA system and said, hey, you got a big problem here. And it's government that's screwing it up. And you're not doing anything about it. Sometimes maybe you should look in the mirror, because maybe that's where a lot of the problem is when you see the contention. When you see people frustrated, when you see hardly as in no in this, no even regular agenda items. Where are the big projects coming into Moreno Valley? Where is the big, we want to come to Moreno Valley? No, as I've said, because of the environment we have created. When people hit that 215 and 60 intersection, they hit 6-gear overdrive and they go as fast as they can, hoping the stink of Moreno Valley doesn't rub off on them. It starts just for what's going on today. I've got to try and make the Val Verde School Board meeting because we got a serious situation going on down there with the board president. And you guys want to make it, Sans One, as difficult as possible for us to try and fix this.
The next three speakers are Marjorie Durkee, David Seitz, and Seth Cox.
Good evening.
Good evening, everyone. I'm a little nervous, but I'm representing the neighbors that live between from Darwin, Bay Street, and Barbados. The new project that was created there, when the plan first came out, it did not include a cement circle in the middle of a 2-lane street. On Barbados and Darwin, the Planning Commission, or the architects of this new housing project, Windsong and Skylar Point, I believe, they've placed this huge cement circle in the middle. Even the guy that was down there was kind of complaining about it, who does your, he's the guy that does the landscaping. He was saying that he had to move a pipe or something like that, or they're taking a pipe. He didn't even know about this. So I called this commission before to speak to, I think his name is Marquez, but he never called me. The neighbors are upset about this cement circle. It's in a 2-lane street, and then also the houses that they've built facing the other houses that are 2,900 square feet and 3,000 square feet. These little bitty tiny cottage houses are facing our homes, and they're not conducive to the neighborhood at all. But the main concern is the safety of everyone going down the street. You can barely make that turn. And once all the people start parking on our street of Darwin and Barbados from the new project, because those houses are facing ours, it's going to create even a tighter squeeze going down Darwin. It's a small street, and I can't imagine why they did that. Most people's vehicles extend 7 feet, maybe 8 feet out into the street, and if you do that on both sides, it's going to make it very narrow for 2 cars to go down at one time. And then you run into this cement circle and they want you to go this way and that. It's never been done before on a small street. It's usually on a 4-lane highway, 4 lanes, 2 here, 2 there, and then it's in the middle. They did not plan this. They did not even notify us that this was going to be done. And it certainly wasn't in the planning that you put out 2 years ago regarding this community. We thought the larger homes were going to face us, but yet we have little cottages. And I'm sure that's going to create problems with this circle there, with that entrance going into the Barbados entrance in Darwin Street. So we're creating a petition to bring to you. Our neighbors are getting together to protest, and we're going to start protesting out in front of that project. So we hope that you have that removed because it is not needed. Thank you.
Thank you. And if you could please leave your contact information, our staff will come get that from you
Well,
so
I
we
left
can
it with,
follow up on that.
Marquez, is his name Marquez, Councilman Marquez? We left it with him and he never called. I don't even know who he is.
I
Oh,
spoke,
you're Marquez.
I'm your council member. I was out there several days ago. Just real quick, I'll get with you if you're still around a break.
Okay.
I was concerned also.
Yeah, it's
I wasn't aware of that.
a hazard.
I don't know if you know Miss Wallace. She's the person I spoke to. I believe she lived down that area, and I went out there to look at it.
Yeah, it's
So I have to get with our staff, and I'm meeting with our staff tomorrow morning on something else, but I will bring that up. It's in my notes for that.
Because that guy, he said he didn't even know about it, and I'm
will-
telling on him, but it makes me feel bad, but.
We'll make sure to, I don't mean to cut you off,
Mayor?
but we'll make sure to follow up with you. And then during the closing comments, we can go into more detail, but.
I'll stay behind to give you the information.
Definitely, please. Thank you.
Thank you, sorry I
Thank you.
went over.
The next three speakers are David Zeitz, Seth Cox, and Pete Bleckard.
Good evening, council and mayor. I am not here on any city business or as a city commissioner. I'm here to thank the council and Mr. Pro Tem Delgado and city staff for taking care of a problem that I brought in front of you about a street that was a private cul-de-sac that was put in 20 some odd years ago, and it ended up being Party Central. I appreciate the staff, what they've done. We have been trying for over 20 years to get this road blocked off, and it finally happened last week. I can't imagine why it took so long. It was past regimes. I don't know, but I'm not going to get into that. But I do want to thank the city staff and traffic or whoever got involved to get it done. The neighbors are back there are just ecstatic with what's going on. Now they can have a good night's sleep and not worried about property damage. They would go and check on the cars, and the next thing they do, the people that were up there partying come down, they would tear all their mailboxes off on the way down. So it's something that's been needed to be done a long time ago, and I appreciate you doing it so quickly, and thank you very much.
The next three speakers are Seth Cox, Pete Bleckard, and Bob Palomares.
Good evening. I'm Seth Cox, council members, staff. I'm a District 3 person, so yes, I'm biased. Okay. And I also know council people are biased for their districts, but I'm here to ask the council as a whole to look out for the whole city, no matter what district you represent. But I'm bringing up some issues that I think are going to cause problems in District 3, okay? There are currently at least 8. I can't give you an official count because your website is a little outdated and your current projects aren't listed, but there's currently at least 8 projects out in District 3 that are building approximately 2,200 homes within a 1-mile radius, okay? And another 96 apartments. Ms. Durkee brought up one out there. I think they may be building too fast to get things checked out and get it inspected in time and do it the correct way, okay? That's some of my concern. And to beat all that is, maybe I'm behind the times. I found a notice of completion and a recirculation of notice of preparation on the Aquabella site, where it is authorized to have 15,000 homes in District 3. We don't have the infrastructure to do the 2,200. Okay, my water pressure has probably decreased 20% just with the current houses that are already built. I hate to see what happens, okay? And back to getting things inspected. I'm all for safety. I have a safety concern in front of the new Marino Elementary School on Nason. If you are traveling south on Nason and you go through the Valley View High School zone, then you have a section that's not a school zone, and then you have the elementary school. The sign that's for school zone, you are already about 150 feet in front of the school before the sign is ever there. So people are going 40, 50 miles an hour down Nason in front of elementary school. If you're going to put that many schools on one street, make the whole street a 25 or 35 mile an hour zone, not a 45 or whatever it is. But I think that's coming because of some unfettered growth that we're having. And I will be talking to the Planning Commission too. Our Planning Commission is trying to get things built, housing built, whatever, but they're not thinking of the big picture of it's going to have on the impact of the older communities within Moreno Valley. Thank you.
Thank you.
The next three speakers are Pete Bleckard, Bob Palomares, and Louise Palomares.
Well, I want to talk about one of my favorite projects of Moron Valley called Sunnymead Up Boulevard with the pinky sidewalks. We spent lots of money on them things. We tore out brand new sidewalks, probably only a year old, and put them all into pinky sidewalks. We put a flood control extension on there that never worked. They had to come back after they got all the sidewalks in and tear up all the street and add more section to that because of poor engineering. Now they've put these bicycle lanes in there, and that's a truck traffic road. So trucks are pushing you right over to them nods. We need to take them out. You see people hitting them. I was behind one guy, had a flat tire, shot clear across the road over to the side because he hit the curb, because they're pinching you right over on them nods. They come up immediately. And at nighttime, you can't see them at all. And they were put in there by a staff member. All the people on the council did not want it, but because he was environmentalist along with George Haig, he got it put in there. Them little nods need to come out. We spent millions of dollars on them intersections, putting terracotta intersections, and one of our motor officers had to flop down. Then they finally had to come in and bead blast them down to what you see now, which is awful rough. So basically, we spent a whole lot of money being stupid. That's why I call this place Moron Valley. The reason I talk about it is I've had another person go on a tour of Edgemont. He didn't get to go all of it. And he was very surprised. I says, all of our redevelopment money was spent in Sunnymead, or it went to Orange County with the Duda Company. And Edgemont still looks the same. I've shown him roads that I was in grade school delivering papers on it that's still the same pavement. But Sunnymead Ranch and Moreno Ranch and them real rich East Enders all got repaved. Sunnymead Ranch didn't get started till the mid-'80s. Moreno Ranch was way after I got on the planning commission, because I was one of them that voted it in. So, and the same way with all the rest of it and everywhere else. But Edgemont gets nothing. Yeah, they did a few just last go-around, not all of them, but it's really sad that you think that place is what it is. It starts with S, ends with H, and they pile it high. There's the four letters. Learn out what you call Edgemont.
The final two speakers are Bob Palomares and Louise Palomares.
Good evening, Council, Chiefs, always the best. November 11th, Veterans Day. You know, it's always an honor to talk about vets. You know, thank you for all the military that you served in, the past and present military people. You know, I always go and put flowers on family members that have served in the military that have already passed. But I wanted to honor them with words today for those that were in the armed forces. Richard F. Palomares, USMC, Iwo Jima, February 21st, 1945. Fernando Palomares, USMC, Korea, 1951, Battle of the Chosin Reservoir. William Palomares, United States Marine Corps, Da Nang, Vietnam, 1966-67. Art Palomares, U.S. Army, 68 through 72. Louis Pastor Ortiz, U.S. Army, 1945. That's my father-in-law. Kalani Yumo, United States Marine Corps, Operation Desert Storm, 1991. My grandson, Joseph Avila, United States Marine Corps, Operation Iraqi Freedom. And my nephew, Rick Cruz, United States Navy, Persian Gulf veteran. And it's just an honor because I always take them flowers, but I never speak of them. And that's what I wanted to do. And one more member, he wasn't a family member, but we became to love him and we called him a family member. E9 Ray McIntosh, United States Air Force. And Uncle John, Victoria's uncle, 26-year veteran. And he was from Germany. He was quite a guy, good fisherman too. Thank you very much.
The final speaker is Luis Palomares.
Give me a minute, please. I didn't know Bob was going to do that. I salute all the veterans. And also, they fought for our freedoms, freedom of speech. They fought for our freedoms to be able to come and address the board, the council, everywhere we can speak. And even if you don't like what we say, and even if we do, say what you don't like, those are our freedoms. And all these people died for the freedoms. My family members, your family members, all your family members, even Dave Marcus went. But saying all that, we're losing our freedoms because today, Linda Thomas, they got a call from a sheriff because Ulysses Cabrera, our mayor, that can't be a man, please, man up. Stop being a coward. You are harassing this family because they were having a cleanup. Elmer runs through the whole city, Elmer Thomas's. Even the city manager's seen him. Everybody's seen him running through the city. He does it all the time. It's not unusual. Well, he ran by where Cabrera was. He had no idea Cabrera was at that park. I think it's 200 feet. But he's seen him running because you could see when people are running. He chose to call the police on him. They got a call today. He has totally depleted this family. But he's got our money to sue these people on a harassment lawsuit that's a bunch of nonsense. When is it going to stop, Cabrera? When? When are you going to stop this? They're using their daughter's college fund to pay for a lawyer. They're mortgaging their house maybe to pay for a lawyer. Are you trying to run them out of the whole city? They don't come near you. They don't bother you at all. Why are you doing this to these families? Yes, you even got the people that were in that Juneteenth thing lying for you. I went to the court. They seem all shook up to testify on a lie. Why don't you stop now? Give these people a break. Let them rest. They don't sleep at night. This is you, our mayor here. Do I got to take it to every city to talk about you? At the Paris, Banning, Beaumont, everywhere, at all the city councils, at the board of supervisors, at the Riverside County School Board. When are you going to stop this? When? Aren't you tired? You're a young man. You're 27 years old. You got a long way to go. Don't worry, you're going to make it. You're going to make it, but not stepping and treating people and doing this stuff to people. The staff knows. The sheriffs know. Nobody can be involved. Our lawyer knows. Everybody knows it's a bunch of bull crap. It's terrible what you're doing to this family. What do you want to do? Run them out of here? Mortgage their house, their daughter's college fund? Where's your mercy? God says have mercy. Where's your mercy, Cabrera? Shame on you. You want to be in the political arena? That's what happens when you're political. But these are...
Thank you. Thank you.
That concludes public comment, Mayor.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. So that brings us next to the public comments on matters that are on the agenda for the consent calendar. And at this time, I'll turn to my colleagues on the council to ask if there are any items that you would like removed for a separate action from the consent calendar.
I would like A4 removed. Just want that kind of public, just for public discussion.
Item A4, okay. And that would be removed for separate action, okay? And that'll, we'll take that up in item G, I believe, at the end of the agenda. So item A4, are there any others that you would like pulled?
City Manager, what, our discussion we had on that one item, I don't have my notes here. Do you recall that item that I was gonna ask some questions about? And I'm saying this because I had a lot of notes on there, and I wanna make sure this one is the correct one. Is that A11?
Yeah, A11.
Okay, thank you, A11.
A11, okay. So A4 and A11 for discussion and vote. Okay. Are there any other items before we, or any input from staff? And for A11, was it just questions, or would you like
Yeah,
a separate vote on that?
No, question.
Just questions? Okay.
Questions.
Perfect.
Okay.
Okay, if you'd like, you can go ahead.
Can I go ahead and do that?
now.
Okay, thank you, Mayor. Mike, per our discussion, my briefing with you on this, I was concerned about the amount of money, and why do we have a consultant on this, on the equipment for traffic signaling and all that? Can you explain why we're spending this money on a consultant when we do have public engineers within the city?
Sure, Councilmember. On this particular item is actually approval a professional consulting agreement, and this is actually for some CIP approved projects. These are for approved CIP events that the council has approved. And these, as we normally do, we go through a public bidding process, and that we always award it to the lowest qualified bidder. As I mentioned before, that right now the city, we are having a severe shortage of staff, like a lot of our organization, and some of the staff that we have to need to hire, we can't find. So sometimes we do use consultants to augment some of the staff services. And but as I mentioned, these are all approved as part of the budget.
Okay, I appreciate it, Mike. And for the audience out there, the residents out there, you see this on the agenda items, consultants, consultants, consultants. And the thing about it is, we have to get these projects done on a certain period of time. Unfortunately, we can't not find qualified engineers. So staff's got to go out, and they've got to find consultants, and we have to pay them this large amount of money. If not, nothing gets done. So I just want the public to know that this is not wasted money because the city can't do their job. It's because we can't hire, there's not enough qualified people out there. Unfortunately, the young generation, they just don't want to be engineers anymore. I don't know why. I mean, it pays good money. So there is a shortage, and we're filling it right now. So if you see where it says consultant, it's for those reasons, and not because we get lazy. It's just that we don't have enough personnel to do these projects. Thank you, Mike. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Councilmember. So with that, we will now go ahead and, once again, just a reminder, A4 was pulled for separate action and questions, so that'll come back later on in the agenda in item G. So we'll come back to that one momentarily. But next up, we have public comment for consent calendar items. Madam Clerk, do we have any requests to speak?
We have no request to speak, Mayor.
Looks like there's one now. And public comment for this, at this time, it would be for all items except item A4. So A4 will have a separate public comment portion when it comes up under item G. This would be in consent calendar items except A4.
Well, I could talk right now on A4.
No, that would come later under item G. It was moved for a separate action. So we'll call it up in just a few moments. Okay. Are there any other requests to speak?
No, there aren't, Mayor.
Okay. Thank you, Madam Clerk. So that brings us next to any deliberation and a motion. And I just want to, I was just looking through the special events calendar for next year, and I noticed a new event on there, the multicultural festival or event. So appreciate staff working on that and adding that to the calendar. That'll be nice. So just wanted to give a quick shout out for that. But other than that, are there any other comments or questions before we entertain a motion? Okay, so at this time I'll entertain a motion to approve staff's recommendations excluding item A4.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Okay, there's a motion and a second. If we could call for a vote, please. And that passes with 4 yeses and Mayor Pro Tem being absent. Okay, next on the agenda, that brings us to we have no items on F, and now it's item G. So the only item we have is A4. So at this time, we'll start with any council questions for staff, and then we'll move into public comment. Are there any questions at this time?
City Attorney, can you explain this item, please?
Well, actually, the city clerk has a short
clerk
little
has it? Okay.
PowerPoint.
I can give a PowerPoint.
I can address the
At
legal
a PowerPoint?
issues.
Okay, thank you.
Good evening, Honorable Mayor and City Council members. The item before you tonight is ticket and pass policy. The Fair Political Practices Commission has defined rules regarding distributing complimentary tickets and passes to city council members and other officials. Section 18944.1 outlines the specific conditions that must be met for such tickets or passes not to be considered gifts or taxable income under the California Political Reform Act of 1974 and FPPC regulations. The regulations mandates that the city must share specific information about every ticket or pass it provides to city officials on its website. Additionally, the city is required to email the FPPC with the web link to the city's tickets and pass policy for public access and transparency. And the tickets and pass policy is attached to the staff report. Section 18944.1 further stipulates that within 45 days of giving out a ticket or a pass, the city must report the distribution using a particular form provided by the FPPC. This reporting responsibility will be managed by the city clerk's office. It's likely that implementing the ticket and pass policies provision will happen seamlessly, as the city clerk's office is responsible for determining in advance whether a complimentary ticket or pass aligns with a legitimate public purpose, and this is specified in the policy. The city clerk will also handle the filing of a necessary disclosure form and the website posting as required by the regulations. The primary responsibility placed on elected officials is to redirect any third party offering complimentary tickets or passes for an event, such as vendors, city consultants, applicants, nonprofit or for-profit organizations, to the city clerk's office. And in summary, the city clerk's office will handle the acceptance and processing of these complimentary tickets or passes to ensure that they do not unintentionally fall into the categories of reportable gifts, taxable income, or even campaign contributions. This process aims to maintain transparency and compliance with the regulations. And I've got our city attorney, Mr. Quintanilla, available if you have any legal questions.
Thank you very much for that, Madam Clerk. I have maybe a question or two, but I'll turn it back to Councilmember Bernard.
No, I don't have any questions.
Thank you. So just on that last slide, actually brought up one of the questions that I had in terms of reportable or gifts is the word, right? Reportable gifts. And I think there's a distinction between the tickets and these reportable gifts potentially. Could you maybe just briefly elaborate on what would differentiate those two?
Do you want me to? I can respond to that. Anytime that any of the elected officials receive a item that is worth $50 or more, and there's no consideration for that item, meaning you don't have to pay for it, then that's considered to be a gift, which the FPPC requires you to disclose and include on your 700 form. What this provides, it provides a process for us meaning the staff, particularly the city clerk here, is to basically take charge over any tickets or passes to events that are being offered to you. So if anyone offers you a ticket or pass, if you don't let us know about that, then that may constitute a gift which you would have to disclose on your 700 form, and that could lead to requirements that you recuse yourself on certain issues involving that particular person who gave you that gift. But this law is really just about disclosure and transparency with respect to the kinds of tickets and passes you get from the city and or third parties. And we need to ensure that anytime a ticket or pass is provided to the city council members or any city official, that we document that the purpose of that ticket or pass or the purpose of that event serves a legitimate public purpose. And so this FPPC regulation allows us to define or describe what are legitimate public purposes for the city of Moreno Valley, and we created a list that's included in the policy. So my advice to the city council is that anytime you're offered a ticket or pass to attend an event, it could be a Chamber of Commerce event, it could be an event held by just any social organization, it's critical that you let the city clerk know that you're getting that ticket or pass, because there is an exception for tickets and passes, complimentary tickets and passes that are provided to any elected official if they want you to go there and speak. So if you're a speaker there, or if you're introducing, people in the community, then that's considered to be serving a legitimate public purpose. So you can accept that ticket, and under those circumstances, you can actually accept tickets for you and a spouse.
Thank you very much, Steve. Appreciate that. So with that being said, unless there are any other questions, we can go ahead and move into the public comment portion. And I don't see any other questions. Madam Clerk, do we have any requests to speak?
We have one public comment. Luis Palomares.
Luis Palomares, community activist. I was confused in this item, so I'm just going to leave it alone because I thought it was about another item. Oh, thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other requests?
That concludes public comment. Oh, pardon me. We have one left. Bob Palomares wants to speak.
Yeah, I don't know if this applies to what I'm going to say to this thing here, but because I know back before, or actually when the mayor had already been elected mayor and was sitting here, when some of these nonprofits came up here soliciting funds, I believe I got their card, it's called the Golden Society, and the lady that came up, I don't think it was Rosa Bravo, I think it might have been the other lady, but she had made the statement that their newest member of Golden Society was the mayor himself. Now, if he's voting on, if it's even a nonprofit, on money being given to these people, that's a conflict. But I don't know how many of you are aware of that. That he was, and it was said here in the chambers, so I'm just kind of giving you a heads up. I'm going to look into it because, we're talking about being fair and transparent, and that's not. Thank you.
That concludes public comment, Mayor.
Yes, and I can respond to that. wants to share some? Give us 1 second. Yeah, just 1 second, Mr. City Attorney. Do we have any other requests to speak? I think someone's saying that there might be. We can still do public comment if you'd like to go ahead and say what you were going to say.
Yeah, I'd just like to point out, it's not uncommon for elected officials, city council members to serve on nonprofit boards. And so in recognition of that, the FPPC actually has a regulation that provides that does not present a potential conflict of interest if you serve on a board for a nonprofit.
Thank you, Mr. City Attorney. And just to clarify, I'm not a member at all of Golden Society or anything like that, just so everybody knows about that. But Madam Clerk, do we have any other requests to speak?
Yes, we do. Linda Thomas.
Good evening. My name is Linda Thomas, and I am a resident of District 3. And I am asking for the tickets and passes to be revoked for the mayor. I attended the Cielo Fund where my daughter was, she was honored to receive the scholarship of $1,000 because she graduated from Moreno Valley High School with the 4.2 something, honor society, honor roll, top scholar, and she was she's a resident of Moreno Valley. And when the mayor attended that event, the event had finished, but he's so needy of attention that he asked for his name to be announced when the event was over. It was just about mingling, you know what I'm talking about. And he asked the dancer to go up on stage to announce that in the audience we have the Mayor Cabrera, Mayor of Moreno Valley. Like, it's so, and I'm telling you because you're so petty. You're so petty, and you need all of that attention. But, and I'm saying that because he is so immature and he doesn't know how to act. So revoke his tickets and passes because he doesn't represent our city. He doesn't represent us as citizens. He has no ethics, and he's very immature.
That concludes public comment, Mayor.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. So with that, we will now go ahead and proceed to any council deliberation if desired. If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve staff's recommendations. Are there any requests to speak or any deliberation?
No, I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll say.
Okay, there's a motion and a second. If we could please vote. And that passes with 4 yeses. All right, next we have item I, which is the reports, and we'll start with the city council reports. On here, I see we'll start with Councilmember Marquez. There's one for Riverside Transit Authority and the Riverside County Regional Conservation Authority.
Mayor, I have 2 on RTA.
Okay, go right ahead.
Tonight, I am providing updates from the RTA Board of Directors meeting held on October 26th. The board authorized staff to award agreement to Kaiser for on-the-job clinic services for 1 year, based with a four one-year options in the amount not to exceed $348,960. That concludes my report on that. Second report, RTA. Tonight, I'm providing an update from the RTA Administration and Operations Committee meeting that was held on November 1st. The committee authorized staff to enter an agreement with GIL Energy for the management of California law carbon fuel standards and the federal government renewal identification program for a period of 3 years, plus a 2 one-year option. There was no cost involved in that. That concludes my report on RTA. Excuse me. RCA, items covered at the RCA Board of Directors meeting November 6th of 2023 includes status report on acquisitions made by RCA for the 2023 calendar year 32 parcels were acquired, adding approximately 704 acres to the reserve. That concludes my report, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember. And I think we have a couple of other reports. We have a report from WRCOG by Councilmember Baca Santa Cruz.
Good evening. This report is for the Western Riverside Council of Governments joint meeting of the Executive Committee held on November 6, 2023. Items covered at the WRCOG Executive Committee meeting included an update on the development of the Regional Vehicle Miles Traveled Mitigation Program. It is anticipated that a draft program guide will be available for review by the Executive Committee in mid-2024. This concludes my report.
Thank you. Next up, we have the I-2 Employee Association report. Nothing tonight. And I-3 is the Famous City Managers report.
Thank you, Mayor, members of City Council. Just 3 items tonight. First, I want to introduce a new member to the E-team. We have fulfilled that position of the Chief Financial Officer, Finance Director, and now the City Treasurer, Lala Jimenez. She's been with the city for almost 18 years, a lot of wealth of experience and knowledge. She actually started in public safety, public works, capital projects, and also was the Finance Resource Division Manager before we made the appointment. So congratulations to Lana, and we're looking forward to some the great things out, from Lana.
Mike, does that mean we don't have to deal with Brian anymore?
You still have to deal with Brian, but not in that capacity. Second item, Mayor, City Council, is as I mentioned, this is the worst season, and when it rains, it pours. And another announcement of a fantastic award. Now, this is actually now awarded to our Public Works Department. This is actually from the American Public Works Association, APWA. We received 2023 Best Project of the Year Award, and this is for our Juan Bautista de Anza multi-use trail. As you know, this is a fantastic project, a trail system that now stretched from the mall all the way to the entrance of Lake Perris. And I think last year we actually open a particular segment. So this now segment is going to finish, and in theory, you're able to either ride or walk all the way from Myrna Valley Mall all the way to the entrance of Lake Perris. And this is a fantastic project. Most of the funding out of this project is actually grant funded, and it's a project that we've been working on probably for the past 8 years or so. So once again, we won the top award from the American Public Works Association for that particular project. And lastly, another award. This is actually the IEEP. This is the Inland Empire Economic Partnership. This is Red Tape to Red Carpet Award. And this is the award that we like to go after every year because we're competing with other cities in the Inland Empire. And this is more of a bragging rights because, there's a lot of awards in all the cities in the Inland Empire. We'd like to have these bragging rights. And this past Thursday, we attended the award ceremony. We actually won 3 awards. And the 3 awards that we won is first is for our award-winning Business and Employment Resource Center for our business retention and expansion category on that one. Second is we won an award for our streetlight retrofit program under the Sustainability and Green Development category. And this program, as you know, is actually the City Council approved the purchase of thousands of streetlights in the city from Edison, and we're able to retrofit and revamp those streetlights for very, very great energy saving and cost saving to our city and to our residents. And finally, our Kaiser Permanente Medical Center expansion, we won the Public-Private Partnership Category Award. As I mentioned, we won an award for this particular project in other places, but this is the one we won because during COVID, while a lot of cities were shut down, we actually kept our city open. So while doors are closed, all the staff came into work. We're processing plans and development plans during COVID. And as you see, a lot of the construction that's happening right now is because we did that. And Kaiser was one of those projects in which we worked diligently, make sure they open in time, and they're so happy. And I think earlier this year we celebrated their grand opening for their expansion. So that was the 3 awards that we won for IEP. And thank you for your support for staff. As I think Animal Shelter Supervisor mentioned, Steve Freeze, really we do have the best of the best, and thank you for your support.
Thank you very much, Mike. I usually say we need more shelves, but we might need to start planning for a museum to fit all of those awards. So thank you for that, Mike. That brings us to the last part of our agenda, which is the City Council closing comments, and we'll start off with District 1, Councilmember Baca Santa Cruz.
So, since the last meeting, I've attended quite a few events here in the city. Most remarkably was the inaugural trunk or treat outside here in front of City Hall, hosted by our Sheriff's Department, and it was, there was about 5,000 kids that came through there, and beyond the number of residents who came out for that, what was the most amazing was the fact that all of us who were out there handing out candy looked at the line and thought, oh my gosh, we're gonna run out. But there to save the day was the sheriffs coming by and refilling everybody's bowls. Everybody was coming out of the event with buckets full of candy. Although they had waited for hours, we saw smiling faces, appreciative families. So it was a spectacular event, the inaugural event. And so I look forward to doing it annually. And so kudos to the sheriffs and everybody who participated. We just need to start thinking about maybe putting the spooky stuff off to the side. It was a little scary for the small ones, and we did hear that. So we're thinking maybe like a spooky street or something, but let's keep it fun for the little ones and a little spooky for the older ones. But so we have some things to learn, but overall it was a wonderful event. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for doing this for the community. They really appreciated it, and so do I. So thank you. I also attended the community cleanup. Once again, many organizations, many residents and families came out. We were able to clean up 2 parks. We did painting and trash pickup, and we added mulch to playgrounds. It was a great day to be a Moreno Valley'n, and I look forward to seeing more residents. We have 2 more events this month. We have our color run in a couple weeks, and we have our veterans event as we do annually, 11/11 at 11 a.m. I'll see you at the Veterans Memorial. I'm proud to be living here in Moreno Valley. We're a military town, and no one shows their appreciation for the military like Moreno Valley, so please come out and join us. And like Mr. Palomares mentioned, we do have a lot of military history in my family. Uncle John, who lived here in Moreno Valley, had spent a lot of time in Guam, Germany, Japan, Korea. He enlisted and kept enlisting, and he stayed his whole life in the military. My grandfather also served in the Army in World War II, and he was actually released when he came home. They let him go here at March Air Force Base, and that's why we're in Moreno Valley instead of New Mexico, where he grew up and signed up. So he left here, went to LA, and met my grandmother, and the rest is Moreno Valley history. So thank you to all of you. I know a lot of us have family who have served. Joey Palomares, most recently, that is closest to me and my family, but I know we all have a long history of service, so thank you for those who served as well as those who stayed behind, and we're here supporting those who are serving. Don't forget, every Friday we can wear red to remember everyone deployed. We do that at the college, and it's Veterans Day is a nice time to remember those who have given all. Also attended the Dia de los Muertos, so thank you to everybody, especially those who stopped by the altar for our beloved Carla Thornton and Mayor Pro Tem Victoria Baca. We had an altar out there. The residents who came out and put their altars, it was just beautiful, so I hope you got a chance to see them. If not, they're on our social media accounts. They're just fantastic way to honor our loved ones. And I'm so proud to be in a community where we do that and hold it out so that the entire community is able to see some of our culture. And I look forward to a new event that we just approved is the multicultural event. So that'll be in April, and it will replace our Springtastic. So this would be a great time for all of the community to come out and experience multicultural. Nope, we're gonna cut that. It's okay.
No, just clarification. The Multicultural Festival will take the place of the Festival of Arts.
Springtastic is gonna, oh, good. And we're still doing the flashlight, right?
Yes.
You didn't throw in the towel over last year, right? Oh, good. I'm looking forward to that one. I'm not going to participate in the color run. I will be rooting for you that are running, though. And finally, I did have a note on, what was I going to say? Over? Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Councilmember. Next up, we have Councilmember Marquez.
Thank you, Mayor. Yeah, the Day of the Dead, Jeremy, awesome. The music by Santana, they played the Santana songs. But what really got me was the dancers, the little ones. It was just awesome. It really was. And I just want to congratulate you and your staff for a very well organized event. The vet ceremony, November 11th, 11 o'clock out here. Also, during that event, we're going to have our arts contest, the vet arts contest. Jeremy, you want to just throw something in there real quick, please?
Sure, thank you. Yes, during that event, we have 17 artists that have submitted artwork, and we will have prizes for first, second, and third, and council's choice. So everybody who attends that event, we're going to ask you to also vote on the artwork.
Okay. So remember, my colleagues, we have to get out there and vote too. So pick somebody out there. Thank you, Jeremy. Community cleanup. I've never seen that many people come out for that event in District 3. It was awesome. It was awesome. We had some church people there that come out on Saturdays from the Calvary Church, and they couldn't believe what they were seeing. A community coming together, clean up a park. And after I left the ceremony, I went over to talk to the church people, and they were, half of them lived in District 3. And they were saying, God, I can't believe how our community comes together to clean up not only this park, but they've seen it around. So that made me feel good. And again, for all the volunteers and staff especially, thank you. Thank you. We had a speaker talk about this turnabout. Tomorrow, I do have meetings with staff on some other items, but to that speaker, I don't know if she's still here or not. She leave already? She left? I'll make contact with her. She did call me, left a message, but in the meantime, I was talking to another resident nearby, and I just apologize for not getting back to the speaker today, but I did go out there and look at it, and I'll be discussing it with staff tomorrow and see what we can do. Again, I'm not a professional at this, and that's not my job. It's just that I'll get with them, with our staff, and let's see what we can do. I don't want the residents to start marching at City Hall because we put something in the middle of the street where they can't get through. So I'll take care of that tomorrow, and we go from there. And I want to apologize for my last time. I wasn't here at last council meeting. I had bronchitis, and then laryngitis came in, and for many, many days, I couldn't control my coughing, and I felt that if I got up here, I would cough or lose my voice. So I chose to stay home, but I did watch it on TV. So just want to let you know why I wasn't here on that council meeting. Other than that, Mayor, that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Councilmember. And next up, we have Councilmember Bernard.
So I just want to talk about a few events that I attended. I also did the trunk or treat with Councilmember Baca Santa Cruz. We did Paw Patrol because I have toddlers and they love Paw Patrol and it's law enforcement. So I do agree. We do need to have a scary section because we had to beg the kids to open their eyes by the time they got to us because they were terrified and they didn't believe we were actually Paw Patrol. But I think between 5,000 and 6,000 people came through there. Most residents that I did talk to said that they stood in line for 2.5 hours, but it was not unbearable. And our last set of trick-or-treaters on our section, because we were near the front, came through at 9:15. So I thank everyone who showed up and who stood in those lines and braved it. And I thank our sheriff's department, and we cannot wait to do it next year. A few things are opening, and I mention this now because I will be out of town. Everybody is calling me because everybody wants to know the million-dollar question: when is Aldi's opening? Aldi's is opening in District 4 off of Paris and Iris. It will be open November 9th. So for all of you excited about your holiday shopping, Aldi's will be available beginning Thursday, and you can do all your holiday shopping there. Habit Burger, which is another one that everyone keeps asking me about, right behind Starbucks, will be open November 10th. So everything will be open by this weekend, and you will be able to attend. Please pack your patience, because whenever something's new, everybody wants to smell the new paint. So I'm pretty sure it's going to be crowded. I would like to also talk about the community cleanup. I was in District 3 with Councilmember Marquez, and there were a lot. I really enjoyed thoroughly seeing all of the high schoolers come out. Let me tell you, when the kids come out, the lifting is not as heavy, and they get things done a lot faster than us. Because if I cough wrong, my knee might hurt. So I appreciate them coming out there. They were out there shredding branches, and they were running and playing on the basketball court when they were done, and going through all the pizza that we had. So I appreciate all of them coming out, especially our seniors who are finishing up their senior hours, and we were able to get that done for them. So I appreciate them coming out for that, and just in general the community. I was unable to attend the Day of the Dead, but like they said, I heard it turned out wonderful. I was out doing one of my other jobs that I have, which is I do a lot of work within labor community within the Inland Empire. And so I was being given an award by the Inland Empire Labor Council. And so I went to that event and attended. But I'm hearing that the Day of the Dead was wonderful and well attended. So I appreciate everyone coming out for that. And I would just like to close for me in regards to Veterans Day. I would like to thank my mother, Dorothy Madison, U.S. Army, Shantae Wilder, Air Force, and my personal hero, Edward Horace Madison, my grandfather who served in the Korean War, as well as 2 tours in Vietnam, U.S. Marine, gunny sergeant. And so if you know a veteran, you see a veteran, please thank them for their service and everything that they've done, because it is not always easy. And even if you know family members of veterans, it is not easy to be separated from them for long periods of time, and them coming home to you and starting to work them back into the mix. So please thank families of veterans as well as veterans, and happy Veterans Day.
Thank you very much, Councilmember. And before I get into my closing comments, I think Director Bubnick wanted to share 1 or 2 things.
Thank you, Mayor. I just wanted to clarify my comments earlier when I said that the Multicultural Festival was replacing the Art Festival. It's actually an expansion of the Festival of Arts, with the focus of this event being on multicultural entertainment and cultures, and we will still have the art festival portion of that event. I wanted to make that clear.
Nice. Thank you so much, Jeremy. Appreciate that. And for my closing comments, I'll try to keep it as brief as possible. First and foremost, just want to clarify a couple things. We had some public speakers that made some claims or insinuated a few things. So just wish I didn't have to, but I need to clarify. So once again, one of the speakers, Mr. Bob Palomares, insinuated that I was a member of Golden Society, and I know he's going to do his research. So just want to clarify again that I'm not a member of any board for the Golden Society or any of those nonprofits. So I just wanted to make sure to clarify that as well for everybody. Another public speaker, Miss Thomas, actually came and said a few things. One of them in particular was about a Cielo Fund event, and some of you who may not know about the Cielo Fund, they do a lot of philanthropic work. They fund primarily nonprofit organizations across the Inland Empire. So just want to clarify on that as well. At the beginning of the event, I was introduced along with about a dozen other elected officials, as is common practice for all events. So that was the only time I was introduced. There was no other time during the event where I got a special recognition or anything like that. And I was personally invited by the Cielo Fund board to attend as mayor of Moreno Valley to that event. So it was a really nice event, and actually want to thank the Cielo Fund for doing all the work that they're doing, because they're doing a lot of amazing work. So just wanted to clarify that as well. And last thing, it's public information now. I have not really spoken about it, but several months ago, a judge did grant a temporary restraining order to protect me and some of my family members. And there was also some claims made about the event, the Beautify Mobile Community Day of Service, specifically at Weston Park, I believe it was, in District 3. So just to clarify, so that everybody's aware of what happened, essentially I was having a conversation with a few other people that were attending the event, and I just so happened to notice Elmer Thomas about 45 feet away from us, jogging on the sidewalk. So as a result of that, because there is a restraining order in place, doing our due diligence to report that to our legal counsel and letting law enforcement know. So just again, for clarification, because unfortunately people try to confuse and twist things and unfortunately lie. So want to make sure that I need to clarify those things. So just so the public is aware of that. Also, a reminder, as has been said, Veterans Day is the Veterans Memorial, and the Veterans Day ceremony is taking place this Saturday at the Veterans Memorial just right here next to City Hall. So hope that you will join us. It's always a really nice event, and this year our keynote speaker is going to be our very own State Senator Richard Roth, who's a retired Major General from the Air Force. So definitely, you know, if you're available, please attend. And again, it's always a beautiful event. We have family members of our community veterans who attend and vets that are recognized. It's always a really beautiful event. So if you're available, especially if you have a veteran in your family or there's history of military service, definitely would love to have you at that event as well. So look forward to hopefully seeing you on Saturday. As Shailinda or Councilmember Bernard mentioned, Aldi and the Habit Burger are going to be officially open this week. Aldi has a ribbon cutting on Thursday, I believe at 7:45 in the morning, and the Habit Burger also will be open. And actually, they're going to be giving out some free meals. If you are available to stop by on the Habit Burger on November 8th or November 9th, they're giving out free meals to any customer who comes into the Habit Burger Wednesday or Thursday, again, November 8th or November 9th, sorry, between the hours of 11 a.m. and 2 p.m. and 5 to 7 p.m. So again, that's 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. and 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. on November 8th and November 9th. If you want to get a free, what do they say here, a free meal, I'm not sure exactly what it includes, but it's free. So hopefully you could get a little something there at the Habit as well. So looking forward to that opening up as well. In closing, I also attended the Trunk or Treat. I want to give a shout out to Chief Reichel and the Sheriff's Department. That was a very successful event, the first time that you do that. And luckily we didn't run out of candy. You guys came prepared. And I think even La Surtidora, a local grocery store, donated, I think, a pallet of candy. So that helped out big time as well. So shout out to La Surtidora and everybody else that attended. My son had an awesome time. So very, very well done. And also attended the Day of the Dead ceremony event. That was amazing as always, as my colleagues already mentioned. And last but not least, or actually earlier today in the morning, I had a chance to attend a Riverside area Mayor's Roundtable that was hosted by the U.S. Conference of Mayors. So we had the executive director, we had their E-team there, Riverside Mayor, San Bernardino Mayor. There was a lot of mayors that were there from the Riverside area to have a conversation about, you know, what are the issues? How do we solve these? How do we work together more between Riverside County and San Bernardino County? So a lot of important conversations that were had this morning. And that's something that will continue into the future. So I'm over my time here now, so I will go ahead and conclude my comments, and we will officially adjourn today's meeting at 7:20 p.m. Have a good night.